She's gonna interrupt, huh? Yeah, she's gonna interrupt. This kitty. Yeah. She's a happy girl. Alright. So let's put some parts together and then put them on the bike. Part 2 of my vintage touring build. So we talked about derailleurs last time. I've got these Shimano Golden Arrow derailleurs, which I think are really sweet. They're going to be friction shifted. We'll bring these. I'm going to put them in this pile. But I've also got some cassette options we need to go look at. Now up here I've got a few cassettes. I was thinking 9-speed. So this one's a 9-speed. Just a standard XT? I don't know. Whatever. That might work. It's a little dirty, but we can clean it. So we'll take this one. I think this one's also 9-speed. Also 9-speed. And they are the exact same. So I'm going to take the nicer one because it's lighter. And that's 10-speed, so that's not going to work, I think. And I have a Sunrace, also 10-speed. And I have a couple other options at the bike shop. So I think this is our ticket here. I am slightly worried about that other derailleur not having enough range. And I know that some people that carry lots of load like rapid rise. So I think I'm going to bring this just in case. And I do have an XT front derailleur. I think, and this Shimano. Both of these, well, we'll just find out. We're just going to take this one too, just in case. And for saddles, I have these wonderful handmade leather, beautiful, beautiful saddles. A buddy in town makes them. And he gave me one for this build. Technically, he gave me two because this one's a double rail, and I wasn't sure if the seat post I was going to use was able to do a double rail. So I might end up using this single rail. So we'll put this on there and see how that looks for now. And I don't think I'm missing anything else right now. So we'll just go with this. So as I said in the first video, Fellow Orange sent me some parts. Very excited about this. I think this is really gonna just make this build. It's just gonna be special. They're so cool. So thanks, Fellow Orange. We've got racks, cranks, pedals, stem adapter, threadless adapter, handlebars, derailleurs, plus the XTR that I might have to use, cables, saddle. Almost forgot the cassette. Got some few more bits at the shop. I think that's pretty much everything though. So let's load this up on the cargo bike and head down to the shop. So let's unpack these parts, and we'll do a quick little rundown of what I've got. I think I have everything, but probably missing something here because I'm not all there sometimes. But I should have most things at least. So we already talked about all of these parts here. And these. And then we've got brakes off the frame originally. And I like them, so I'm going to keep them. Diacomp 284s. And I do have a second set of levers. They are Kodas. I've always wanted a set of these. I think they feel very, very nice. I was going to rebuild them, pull them apart, lubricate and stuff. But I thought they matched quite well. So I think that I might go with these. They're also a bit of a smaller lever, which I like. But you can tell me what you think down below. And then let's start by cleaning this stuff, just in case we do use it. So we're going to start with the golden arrow stuff because I thought that it would look the best. I like the little gold accent, and I actually picked up some gold bolts and a gold KMC chain to match. I pre-wax this. I do wax all my chains just because it keeps them really clean. But what we're going to do is we're going to do about half of a Ben Cycles cleaning, and I'm going to go straight into our parts washer in the shop. Toss these in, toss the cassette in, and this XTR derailleur. I am a little worried about taking the paint off, so I'm going to run it at a lower temperature than I normally would. So currently I've got this set to 35 degrees Celsius. For really, really greasy stuff, I'll do 40, but because I'm a little worried, I'm going to go down to 30, and instead of 10 minutes, I'm going to go down to 5 at a time to check it. So we'll open this guy up. I just cleaned the water yesterday. It is filled with basically a 3-to-1 ratio or a 4-to-1 ratio of water to Simple Green. So we're going to get all of our parts in there. Starting with the cassette, I do like to separate all the bits of the cassette to make it easier to clean. Next, we'll put our golden arrow derailleurs in there. And lastly, we have our lovely Rapid Rise XTR. So I'm just going to drop this stuff in there. And hit go. Now while that's going in the background, I'm going to pop the wheels off and give them a true and a clean because I didn't do that before. And if you never trued a wheel or you don't know what wheel truing is, I'm going to show you very basically the most oversimplified version of this. Now, we're going to take our wheel, we're going to put it in the stand, and basically we're just going to true out any left and right action, and sometimes you can get the up and down. I do like truing a wheel with the tire on it. It is a little harder to see, but the tire is holding tension because it's inflated. It's holding tension on the spokes like it would be on the bike. And so I can get the tension correct with the tire on it, which I think will roll, in my opinion, better and truer when you're actually riding versus truing it without a tire on it. You can do it both ways. It's not that big of a difference. But basically, so I'm going to spin this and note where the hops are, my little gauge. And so if it's hopping this way, I'm going to pull the wheel this way. Really simple. So I'm going to find that and just bring the tension a little bit over. No more rub. So I'm just going to do that until these are nice and true. We've got this wheel all trued up. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean everything. It's not super dirty, so I'm just going to get a clean rag and use some Simple Green, wash everything, and then try to get it as clean as possible just by hand. So we'll see how that goes. So we got this one nice and shiny, cleaned up. I'm going to do the front wheel and then show you how they look. The wheel set turned out great. Nice and clean. It does kind of bug me that the rear hub is polished and the front hub is not, and I don't have the patience to do that, but everything about this wheel set is super mint. So let's get the cassette on. 5 minutes are up on this guy. You can see the water is much darker, and we're going to check this out. So cassette still has a bit of black on it, so I'm going to keep doing the cassette. However, the derailleur looks very clean, so I'm going to take this out. This derailleur looks very good, so I'm going to take that out. And this one looks very good as well. So I'm going to spray these all off with some isopropyl to stop water from corroding them, and then we'll run the cassette again. And with cassettes, I like to flip them every time. I think that it gets more off. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but we'll let that go for another 5 minutes. All right, so we're at round 2 for the cassette. And oh yeah, it's looking much better. Yeah, could use maybe just a hair more. Flip it back over. That one could use a hair more. That's all right. Yeah, we'll just flip these all over again and run it back. All right. 3rd time's the charm, I guess. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So let's grab all of these. And let's go clean them off. All right. Got the cassette here. Just wipe everything down, dry it off. Those look very clean, and I'm not sure where I got this cassette from, but it looks almost unused, honestly. Obviously there was a little bit of dirt on it, but nothing, no major wear. Teeth are nice and square. So I think this is a good cassette for me to run on this bike. And it's silver, which matches, you know, the rest of the bike. And I want to make sure I get all the water out of it, because I don't want that rusting anything or corroding or whatever might happen. And sometimes I'll even get the air hose and spray it out. just to make sure there's no water left. I'm also going to be swapping these skewers for something a little bit more bling, just because I can. And whoever the previous owner was of these wheels took great care of them. I opened them up when I got them. There's fresh bearings in there, and they're not loose, so that's really dope. This is the best chain whip. You cannot tell me otherwise. It works on everything from single speeds up. Oh no. Someone's done me dirty here. Just messed up that whole shot, but basically I can't get enough purchase on here to get it off, and it just slips. So I have a way to do this. You take your cassette tool and you're going to find a skewer that's long enough to go all the way through here, which this one might be very close. So let's just give it a shot. No. All right, let me find a fat bike skewer. No fat bike skewer. So I'm going to do something else, which I don't really like doing very much. But it's what I got. Hey, worked. There we go. Just gotta keep our weight on it. Back to the task at hand. No road block is big enough to stop me. So I never actually checked if this was a 8-speed cassette. Oh, and look at that. Someone pre-greased it for me. This must have been a very recent donation when I picked it up. So let's just hope that everything fits right. Because if you have a 8-speed or up, it'll fit anything from 8 to 11. If you have a 7-speed or under, it will only fit 7-speed, which I think I've lucked out. Probably should have checked that ahead of time just in case, but there we go. Now that we've got the cassette all dialed in, put the wheel back on. And I mentioned earlier, I had some nice oh no, did I loosen the, I sure did. Whoops. I mentioned earlier I had some nicer looking skewers, which I'm very excited about. They were cheap, but they're gold and black. So I figured they look cool. Just kind of match the theme. They were on a closeout sale on one of our distributors, so, you know, why not give them a shot? Probably a reason why they're on closeout, and maybe I'll figure that out, but for today, I don't really care. Looks nice. Same thing here with the front one. Get this little guy going. I am very excited with all the little bits that I got for this bike, because I think it's the details that really make a build. Hopefully you guys agree. Maybe these skewers were on sale for a reason, but I don't know. They look cool. So let's figure out if this will be able to shift this cassette. I'm feeling better about it now that I see it in person. We gotta make sure to grease everything. Put a little dab on those threads. Definitely feel a little better about it. Let's see. Some derailleur cages don't have enough range for a wider cassette like this. I think that should reach just fine. So, cool. So I think we can run this. So we know this is going to work. So let's focus on getting these cranks installed. So I'm going to need to figure out, oh, these could sit nice and close. God, those are going to look so good too. So I'm going to we got to measure this bottom bracket shell and then figure out the actual spindle width. And this is not a tutorial on how to do anything. Technically, I'm a professional mechanic, but you know, no one is to be trusted on the internet. So this is measuring as a 68 shell. And with how close we could get this, from my experience, I want to get this as close as possible. We do have a little bit of a lip here, so I'm going to get like a 118 bottom bracket. Got our 68 by 118, 68 shell width, 118 spindle. Let's see if this fits. Don't forget to grease up your bottom bracket real good. Everything should have an even coating of grease, and this will keep it from seizing in the future. You especially want to do this on steel frames. Nice even coating of grease. Let's put the bottom bracket in. Ah, right. I need to clearance the little thing. We've talked about this before, so I'll just speed up me doing it. I'm going to pull the bottom out. Pull this little guy down. We just need to shave this down a bit. I'm going to use a file. So I've shaved it down. Unfortunately, one half of it broke, which is not ideal. But as long as it press fits in there, oh, it still snapped. It's perfect, good as new. But we don't have to worry too much about the little screw working because the cables hold it into place. If it starts rattling, I'll probably just find something else to fill the hole in there. But I've had good luck doing it like this. All right. I remember that this bottom bracket went in super smooth. So I'm just going to hand thread that in. Look at that. That's the quality of a Schwinn right there. Incredible. Snug that up. And let's see how close this is. It's got the built-in extractor, which is very nice. So we can just check. Oh, I almost forgot. You should grease your spindles. Just a little bit. Helps them not get seized on there. I don't care what you say. I always grease my spindles. Let's get this guy on there. Very, very excited. Wow, that looks so nice. That's enough clearance. Nice. That looks good. Let's do the other side. And just like the drive side, this one should go in nice and smooth. Nice. We will grease it as well. Again, light grease. You don't need a ton. I'm super excited about these because not only do they look beautiful, they're 165s, which is my preferred crank length. I find that a slightly shorter crank keeps my knees and hips from hurting on longer rides, which is very preferable in my opinion. Perfect amount of chainstay clearance. This could not be working better. Maybe it's because I'm using new parts. If we look down here, got a very nice chain line. So I'm stoked about that. We could even bring it out a little bit, but I like a narrow Q factor, so I'm gonna leave it how it is. Yeah, that looks so good, doesn't it? I was a little worried. Didn't even check. Same clamp diameter. That's nice. Love it when things work out. And then I didn't check the orientation either. But that looks pretty good. And generally, I want a little bit closer than that. A little bit closer than that. That should work there, hopefully. Might even need to go a little touch lower. Yeah, that should be about right. I'm not sure if I know how to explain front derailleurs, but I just kind of know how to do it. They're kind of a mystical thing. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. And if someone has an idea on how to get the gold back in this, please let me know. With these on, we can put on the chain. No, wait. We have to do the limit screws. Let me show you how to do limit screws. So right now, this pulley's not lined up with this, and if you shift all the way up, it's not lined up with that. So you've got to adjust these screws so that they're lined up with this and that. Pretty simple. This one's nice. You can see that where it hits. I always love that. So I'm just gonna kind of look at it with my eyeballs, and that lines up quite well. And that one needs to get backed off a good touch. A little bit more. Pretty much maxing out this derailleur's range here. Just a touch more. Nice. Should be good. Now we can get the chain on. I've chose a KMC 9-speed SL, which stands for super light, and I have waxed it because I think waxing is good. And I'm lazy. Waxing helps you keep dust off your drivetrain, and it's super easy to clean, and I don't have to lube anything. So that's really nice. But it's a lovely gold chain. Very excited about. I don't believe it's directional. Doesn't look to be, so I'm just going this way. But I'm very excited to... I've never had a gold chain. They're, what are they, nitrate or something? All done up with nitrate, something like that, I think. But I have been waxing my chain for a little bit on my Kona unit, my bike packing bike. I did chain waxing and I got almost, I think, 800 miles out of it. Oh, and look at that. I won't have to pull any links. That's pretty nice. Oh, I might actually have to. I might have to pull one link. But, really, this is technically cross-chaining, so I think it'll be just fine. Let's just pop those in. And I said this before, but everything that I say, don't necessarily take that as gospel, because I might be a professional bike mechanic, but I'm sure not a professional speaker. And I might be very, very, very much misleading you all. All right. And this is a freshly waxed chain, so it's going to have some stiff links. So I'm just going to kind of run this for a minute, and it'll start to soften up a touch, which is nice. And then we can check its range. Yeah, that works. And running it like this should help. But yeah, all that fresh wax will get worn off in the first ride or two. Now that the chain's on, we can look at the front limits and get that adjusted somewhat before we hook up the, you know, all the cables and whatnot. Front limits are nearly the exact same thing. You're just changing how far the derailleur can go. Currently it's rubbing right there, so I would like to have it not rub, even when you're cross-chaining. Now it's not. I'm going to shift up to the top gears and check that. And it's not rubbing there either, so it can actually come a tiny bit more in. Nice. So that's the lower B limit checked. And I always do that one before I put the cable in, because once I put the cable in and I start shifting, I want the tension to be correct at the base position, so at its resting position. So in this derailleur's case, its resting position is closest to the frame. So you set that limit first, and then you can set your higher limit off of the cable. So I did just say we were going to do cables, but I lied. We have a couple little things to set up here. These are not the bars. These are not the stem that I'm going to use. So let's pull that out of there. And I haven't redone this headset yet, but it's only because I'm probably going to swap it out for something a little bit nicer. And, oh, that's got some rust in it. And that rust is now on my front tire. So let's, let's pull that wheel off. So I've got a thing for this. Check this out. So I've rotated the frame down, and I've got this guy, which is a reamer. I use this on threaded headsets and seat tubes. I'm going to put this in here, but first I'm going to use a little bit of WD-40 because WD-40 inhibits rust, and it just helps everything go a little bit smoother. So I'm just going to do this. Oh shit, the battery died. Luckily, I have another battery. There we go. So, I'll just hit it with the air gun. Blow that all out, and we should have very clean, very nice. Look at that. No more rust. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm probably not going to keep this headset. It's a bit pitted, and the rust doesn't look very nice, and so I would like to have something that is fresh on there. You should give me some suggestions. I would love a Chris King. Do not have Chris King money. So if anybody has a 1-inch threaded Chris King headset, you should hit me up. Yeah, I would love one of those. We've got swap out from the quill style bars to a threadless style system. Thinking probably gonna run it a little bit higher than I normally would. Oh, gotta make sure the logos are up. Line those up. The old bars were very comfortable. They were about yay high. And the new bars are very comfortable because they're swept, but they're not as high of a rise. So I want to make sure I still have a comfortable riding position. Obviously I can change this. And these are the new bars. These are the Granola Bull Moose. I think that's the official name of them. I've never actually seen a bike in person with these. I didn't know how they were going to look, but I actually kind of like them. I think they're going to look pretty good on this bike. Yeah, nice. Straighten those out. Get the logos lined up. Yeah, this bike's pretty dope. I'm pretty excited. I haven't built a balls out bike in a while, or really ever. And I've never had this many new parts to go on a bike, or this nice of new parts for that matter. I think that looks pretty dope. Let's put the tire back on and line the bars with the tire. All right. Oh, I got that pretty tight, actually. That's the 5. I need a 6. Oh, it's pretty tight. Pretty tight. What are we thinking about these? I do have a set of granola bars, the standard ones. That was my other option for bars on this bike. But I think these are kind of growing on me. Nice extra hand position. Nice bag rest. They got plenty of sweep, should be comfortable. Let's put the pedals on. With this style of build, it's kind of a trial and error type of deal, because I never really know what will work with other things, because I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of all things bikes. I know a lot, but not everything. So sometimes, you know, some standards don't work with others, and you get screwed. And the part that you wanted doesn't work with other parts, and that's just the life. That's just how it is. Can't really do too much about that. So I always like to have backup plans. And sometimes it's just an aesthetic thing. Sometimes it's just how you're feeling in the moment about that part. Maybe you didn't like it as much as you thought you would. But I could say one thing, Velo Orange has parts for everybody. There are things on that site for any type of bike. Maybe not your downhill bike. I don't think they make any downhill stuff. No matter your style of build, there should be something for you. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm just rambling. Maybe I'll just cut that out. I don't know. God, does that look good. All right, let's look at it. So I want to check the riding position and the saddle height and all that stuff real quick. That looks so cool. This is actually pretty good. I'm tempted to run the other granola bars to bring the riding position back a little bit. But these do look pretty cool on here. Very path racery. Got some nice extra hand positioning. Get really aero. What do you think? Looks pretty good. While we've got the bike down here, pull that saddle off. Put the correct saddle on. These saddles are handmade here in town. I mentioned that before. They will be in production soon. They're kind of based off of Brooks designs, but slightly tweaked a little bit. Earlier I said that I was going to be using the single rail style, not realizing that this is actually a clamp on post. So I can use the double rail, which is pretty neat. I've always wanted a Springer saddle, never had one. Oh, these are 13s. It's kind of nice, actually. Never had one. Never been able to afford one, I guess. They're quite expensive. But it was nice enough to throw me a bone and let me test one out. And I gotta say, I could not be more stoked, because this is just a beautiful saddle. And they're made in town. You know, you do a little bit of tilt with these. So I'm trying to get that right. You know, it'd be nice if I had a ratcheting 13. Center that. And I also am kind of excited because this tan matches this tan very well. Very, very close. I think that this bike deserves a tan saddle. All right, that's on there. See how she feels. All right. Yeah, that's pretty comfortable. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. I will put the name of his Instagram down below. I forget it off the top of my head. I believe it's New Used Vintage Bikes. New Used Bikes. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot left in my brain. That looks pretty damn good on there. So here's where we're currently at. I need to get a headset. Put the brakes on, cable everything up, and haven't decided on seat post. Make sure this chain's the right length. What else am I missing? Oh, racks. Duh. Got to put the racks on, which will look very nice. Very nice on this. I know there's some other stuff, but I can't think of it right now, so we'll leave it at that. You know, I'm not sure how long the video was today. Could have been a shorter one, but I'm pretty proud with how far we got. We've got a rolling chassis, I would call it, a mock-up, a teaser. I don't know. I've got a special thing in the next episode. We're going to polish up these brakes and a couple of other little components to match the nice new silver stuff. Huge shout out to Vela Orange for sponsoring this build. And if you want any of the parts that I've used, tires, saddle, all of that will be in the description of this video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, I believe is what I'm supposed to tell you to do. And if you're enjoying these videos, let me know, because that just encourages me to keep making them. Hopefully I'll keep posting every Sunday at 10. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.